History. A string of events. Some of them everyday events. Some of them defining moments. We are in dire need of more defining moments. The number of people with diabetes is growing dramatically. Soon, 500 million people will suffer from diabetes. Novo Nordisk's journey to change diabetes began a long time ago. It all started with a woman who had diabetes herself. In 1922, August and Marie Krogh travel from Denmark to America. August has won the Nobel Prize for his outstanding discoveries within life sciences and medicine. He is now embarking on a long lecture tour in America. The couple has already postponed their trip for a year because Marie has been too weak to travel. She has diabetes, which, at the time, is almost always a fatal disease. Marie hears rumors that give her new hope. Researchers in Canada have finally discovered a treatment for diabetes. Marie writes home from America.
Most places we visit, they're engaged in the new pancreas preparation, insulin, and do experiments with it.
Marie persuades her husband to divert from his tour to visit the researchers in Toronto. August is excited to see their results and asks for permission to start manufacturing the new medicine for patients in Scandinavia. Shortly after their return to Denmark, insulin production begins. Insulin brings new hope to patients who are finally able to recover from the otherwise deadly disease. For the young company, the expanding need for their insulin is also cause for concern. Demand is growing even faster than production, and the founders are soon facing tough decisions. How can they ensure that insulin is made available to as many people as possible? How can they secure funds for research and continued development of the original insulin molecule? Their solution is to hand over ownership of the company to a foundation.
The ownership with the foundation obliges us to consider what is it that people with diabetes really want.
What they really wanted was a life like everybody else. But for Louis, who has had type 1 diabetes for 80 years, that brought a whole new set of challenges.
Jeg gik jo agurk, da jeg var 12-13 år eller deromkring, så kunne jeg jo heller ikke lade de der søde ting være, jo. Der gik jeg så også i koma og blev indlagt på Niels Stensen, som det hed dengang, ikke?
Niels Stensen is the first hospital for people with diabetes in Northern Europe. Today, it is the Steno Diabetes Center. The company's founders established it in 1932 to help people manage their diabetes, understand the importance of healthy food, exercise, and insulin therapy.
Der sagde de derude også, ligesom min mor, du er den eneste, der kan passe på dig. Der er ikke nogen andre, der kan passe på dig. Hvis du ikke passer på dig selv, så lever du ikke ret længe. Det der, det kender jeg jo. Det er mig en nødskør, ikke? At jeg skulle lære at gøre det selv.
Injections are an important part of living with diabetes, not least with the early needles and syringes.
Det er hårdt, når man er barn med de der 2 gange om dagen, og de der kæmpe kanyler. Altså, da jeg startede, der var der sådan nogle bananer, der var nogle kæmpe kanyler.
Over the years, injection needles shrank in size. Still, injecting insulin was a cumbersome and time-consuming process. Then, an idea from the early days was reborn in the hands of researchers. They developed a device that looked like a fountain pen. It was easy and safe to use for injections and handy, even cool to look at. In 1985, the Novo pen changed everything for patients.
Og jeg har jo været vant til at blive stukket lige siden jeg var 2 år. De der små tønde, der er i dag, det er jo et fund.
Novo pen and the later generations of pen devices made injections simple and convenient. Together with new modern insulins, they made it possible to live a varied lifestyle.
My lifestyle, just flexibility is everything, I think, because I'm not I'm not strict enough with myself to say, right, I'm going to eat dinner at 6 o'clock every single night, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow or the day after at 6 o'clock. I could be working, I could be studying, I could be out skateboarding.
People with diabetes also need support from their families.
I think it does affect the people around you, like almost as much as it affects you, except they don't feel the injections and they don't feel when you're hypo or when you've got high blood sugar and that kind of thing.
Understanding patient needs is at the center of what Novo Nordisk works with, also in other areas than diabetes. Johan has haemophilia of a rare kind, for which there is no effective treatment in the 1980s. For him, losing a tooth could mean weeks of bleeding in a hospital. But Ulla Hedner, a Swedish doctor, was about to test a new medicine on Johan.
He got the first injection of plasma-derived factor 7. I saw how it stopped and a clot was formed in his gum. That is an historic moment.
But with only 3,500 known patients in the whole world, no company wanted to invest in Ulla Hedner's project.
I didn't know what to do about it. And then I have this stubbornness. I don't want to give up. I was just obsessed about this. I can't explain it in another way. I got this idea that maybe Novo would be interested. And in 1985, they approved the project. I had no idea about what it cost to develop products or medicines. So I can see afterwards that it must have been a nightmare to every business educated person at Novo Nordisk to have this project approved.
In the end, the daring investment turned out to be a success.
Not to give up means that you have a bit of a stubbornness gene. But that's also other things that are important, and I think that's empathy. And that's actually why I'm still working with Novo Nordisk, because they wanted to do something for patients to change their lives.
We realized that there were people in Africa that were dying because of lack of access to insulin. How could we deal with this situation in a more thoughtful way than the manufacturers of age medicine had dealt with their problem? This led actually to the thought of forming the World Diabetes Foundation. The World Diabetes Foundation is a vehicle for building capacity, creating awareness, creating treatment guidelines in Africa and Southeast Asia and Latin America. It has been very, very powerful. We're trying to address the problem in a more consistent and sustainable way.
But after 90 years of research and development, the ultimate challenge remains unsolved. Finding a cure for diabetes.
It still escapes us. It's still 15 years into the future. Like when I got my job, I thought we'll fix it in 15 years. It's still 15 years away.
History. The foundation for our future. Novo Nordisk has worked to change diabetes for 90 years.
But that forms a relationship which demands of us an enormous responsibility, because we know without the product, they will die.
So we are not done yet. The diabetes epidemic continues to surpass us. The world needs more defining moments.
You've done a great job.